I'd like to bring up another very good friend of mine, Bloomington's own treasure, for those of you who read Bloom magazine. 20 questions. This month's feature, centerfold, if you will, Arbutus Cunningham.
His mother was a fisherman's daughter who ran among the flocks of shorebirds crying, Icarus, Icarus. She was very like a bird herself, thin-legged and quick, with bright, noticing eyes. I made certain she noticed me. The girl, the years have taken her name from me, kept my fire and warmed my bed for a season, no more, and then vanished. I did not wonder. I was busy with my work. Another soon took her place. The boy came years later, ill-fed, half-grown, all knees and elbows, brought by an older woman, perhaps an aunt, who poured out her peasant's tale of woe. The fishing boat lost to the hungry sea, the family scattered, none to tend this ragged child. I gave her a handful of coppers and made her take him away. I'd no time for a child. The next morning, the serving woman found him huddled against the garden wall and put him to work in the kitchen. By then, I was gone to court to build more secrets for Minos. I returned to find the boy had made a water screw to draw up water from the well. It emptied into a series of shallow wooden troughs, raised and angled so that gravity carried it into the kitchen and the bathhouse. The mechanism was flimsy, primitive even. He had a little more to work with than an old adze and a couple of chisels I had discarded. Yet it worked. It was then I knew he was my son. I began to teach him mathematics, astronomy, science, language. Writing he never mastered, though several times he drew his name, Icarus, in wet clay over two arcs with a line between, like a bird in flight. He used to roam the headlands, watching the gulls and sea eagles coast on currents of sun-warmed air. It was there the idea of flight first came to him, when he showed me his small model of wings, how they stayed aloft on a slender thread, how the wind tugged them upward. Hope grew in my heart. I saw an end to bitter captivity. We set to work, and hard work it was, months of errors, all the failures that only taught us what not to do. Finally, though, we succeeded. Balsa wood for the frame, oiled linen for the covering, the wind edge rounded to let the air flow over the top of the wing faster than underneath, for lift. We did not put feathers on them. That is some fool's story. They were not made for flight, but only to glide over the headland out to open water, where we would be met by a fishing boat, some surviving relative from his mother's people, well bribed with gold. A smuggler, no doubt. The day came. We carted the wings up to the headland, strapped them on, waited for the land breeze to stiffen, and dove into the air. A heart-shuddering plunge before the thermal caught and lifted us up, over the water. To move through the air was such joy, I thought it no wonder that birds sing. In the distance, behind the rocks, the smuggler dipped his sail. Icarus was ahead and slightly above. Suddenly, one of the leather straps in his harness broke. The loose tailing flapped in the air. The whole fragile, miraculous assembly dipped, spun, and dropped. As he fell, he cried out, not to me, never to me. "Mother!" he called. "Mother!" The blue sea took him. The waves covered the wound. I saw no more than that.
chasing my tail. A lot of things to say, no one to tell anyway. And the ambulance sped down the road in search of a heart whose beating had stopped, a life interrupted. Statements were taken and solemnly filed in a drawer. I wish I'd known, she said, that he'd go off alone, she said. And Icarus fell while no one was looking. We had places to go, and what could we do? He fell out of the sky, disappeared in the blue, unending. Maybe it's better there on the other side. I hope that it is, for my sake and for his. It's got to be greener, she said, when they left with their lights all gone on their way. Nobody to save today. He should have known better than flying so close to the sun. The wings couldn't hold, but he never did what he was told. And Icarus fell while no one was looking. We had places to go, and what could we do? He fell out of the sky, disappeared in the blue forever. I could have saved him, I could have just 1 minute more. You know how it's been, all this thinking I do lately takes all of my attention. Since the words dropped right off of the page, nobody to catch them. May I live to at least forget him. While Icarus fell and no one was looking, we had places to go. What could we do? He fell out of the sky, disappeared in the blue, unending, blue, unending sea. And please, a hand for Arbutus Cunningham.